Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we are taking a look at Robin from Batman Arkham City, Series 1 collector action figure from DC Direct. Very excited to get these. As you can probably tell, the look of the channel has changed just a little bit. I don't have my intro and outro music as I have a new camera. I'm running on a Sony Bloggy right at the moment. So at this point, I'm not sure if it's letting me able to edit and put different things in as far as music and all that good stuff. So normally I would do the box and show you the package with the figure inside of it, but for the time being, we're just going to go with the good old standard figures already out of package, but we will still show you the package. I thought that would be better than just me tearing it apart here. As we'll turn the light off on the camera real quick. There's the package. Very much exactly the same package as the Batman Arkham Asylum figures. It's kind of to get the whole package in a frame there. There's the little placard card for Robin. And then the inside. The inside is a ad for Batman Arkham Asylum black and white figures. Statues, that one is. And then the ad for the Batman Arkham Asylum Series 1 figures, which most of us have seen. So the quick read up on the back of the picture, pardon me here for a moment. It says Batman Arkham City introduces Arkham City, the new maximum security home for Gotham's thugs, gangsters, and criminally insane masterminds. This heavily fortified, sprawling district in the heart of Gotham City becomes the ultimate battleground between the Dark Knight and his greatest adversaries. As he untangles a web of intrigue that threatens to tear the city apart, Batman's supporting cast is transformed by this new locale into a stronger, more dangerous set of enemies and allies, and they'll push him to his limit and beyond. And as we can see here, it's developed by Rocksteady Studios and published by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. Batman Arkham City is the sequel to the award-winning hit video game Batman Arkham Asylum. There's my announcer voice for you, and figures feature multiple points of articulation and character-appropriate accessories. So this will be the last time on this video that we will do the inside of this and the boxing. It's going to be the same for all three figures. I do like that if I had some type of a stand or a base, that this artwork could be attached and would have a nice little backdrop for all the figures. So let's brighten this up just a little bit here, and we'll get into the figure himself. I really like Robin quite a bit, and as most of you know, I am a Robin fan first and foremost, so I decided to start the review with none other than Robin, as he is Tim Drake in this video game. So get a nice look at Robin here. The head, kind of start from, get the staff out of here. As far as the articulation goes, it does go all the way around, unlike the Mattel hood and cape, that as the head turns, the whole entire cape would move. You can't pull the hood off of Robin, but you can see his hair is a light brown color there. It's actually, it's so far far as the hood goes, there's a little piece that's actually down inside the head here. So very cool representation, nice sculpt in the eyes, and I do like they gave the extra detail to give a little hint of hair back there. So you can tell, hopefully it's picking it up with the light, that the pants look a little gray as opposed to black that they do in the video game. They do very much like the cape. The Mattel version of the cape will bring that back out in just a little bit. the cape is a lot shorter. I think it's about up to here, if I remember. Like, yeah, I can see it's about up that high. The DC Direct figures are getting more and more articulation all the time. The arm does go all the way around. You kind of have to fold the cape back, but it will go back around. And as you can see, it's on a hinge here. I don't remember the DC Direct figures having this. If they have, I do not have the Arkham Asylum Batman figures, so I don't know if they came with this or not, but I believe this is a first for DC Direct. I'm sure somebody will correct me. The only other DC Direct figures I have are the Batman Hush figures, and then the the Robin and Damian from Batman and Son, and then the Damian from Arkham. Excuse me, not Arkham. Batman Incorporated. One review at a time here, Rob. Very cool. He does move the legs. There is no turn at the waist, and there is no hinge so the legs can pivot and do the DC-UC splits, as I like to call them. He does turn at the boot, full 360, and his hands turn all the way around. The accessory that Robin comes with is the staff. It's kind of a bland staff. The staff that Damian came with was much longer, and it had this nice little middle red section in here. Even, I've got it here off to the side, the Robin from the DC-UC was actually much taller, and you can see it's got some little grooves placed in it. So rather plain staff. I was really kind of surprised it didn't look like the staff that it does in the video game. But he does hold it. He holds it in this hand very well, but it does not want to fit into this hand at all. Even trying to come at it from the bottom. If I can get it. Yeah, I can't even get it to go in. So I've seen it in pictures, but so that's a little bit of a bummer that he cannot hold his staff. Try to get him in that pose from the artwork. So a very cool figure. Excellent detailing done, as always, by the DC Direct. I do have one paint issue up underneath the cape on top of the left shoulder. So apparently when the paint was applied, this must have been still wet, but you can't see it, and I'm okay with that. So that's the only minor defect I see in the figure. So very cool figure. We can bring in Robin from the Mattel line, the Batman Legacy line, and as you can tell, there are two different figures. And I believe this is the first time, now somebody can probably correct me here, that we have two different toy lines making the same figures for the same game universe type thing. I don't ever recall going to a toy store or buying something online and being able to buy, you know, a Robin from toy manufacturer A, toy manufacturer B, that's the exact same universe. It's really kind of curious that they would do that. And I think this really explains why Mattel didn't stay with their standard DC-UC height, that they wanted to match the DC Direct line. So if you were on the fence about what you wanted to buy, maybe you wanted the DC Direct Batman, but you like this Robin, their height scale match. Getting into the two figures, I think you can definitely tell, look, their color schemes. I really like the color on this Robin a lot more than I like this one. This seems more metal, and his pants actually look black like they're supposed to in the video game. It almost looks like DC Direct went with a lighter color palette here, and I'm not exactly sure why they did that. Let's take Robin's staff out here. So, I mean, as you can tell, on the greens are much more muted and metallic looking on the Mattel version, and the DC Direct is more of a lime green. Like a little bit of a lime and a forest green. The boots look very much the same, granted the color scheme, even down to the number of straps that are on the boots. I think they follow the detail, the figure very well. The belts look pretty much the same. I gotta tell you, the R on this figure looks a lot cleaner than the R on the DC Direct version. And the hoods for me, there's a vast difference in the hoods, and I gotta tell you, I like the Mattel version of the hood a lot better than I like the DC Direct. Now the DC Direct, there's a little bit more face detailing, but I think just the way the hood sets on the face is, I can tell you, just a little bit better. It seems like it contours the head a little bit more than this one, as I'm punching Robin with Robin. And the capes for me is another issue. I love the long cape on the DC Direct version, but the cape on the Mattel version looks a little too small. Even though it was, smaller anyway, I prefer Robin to have a nice long cape to equal Batman's, but it would have been nice if they would have given us a cape that's, at least match the DC Direct cape. It's really kind of hard for me to pick which Robin I like more. Each of them have things that I wish the other one had. For me, the DC Direct and the Mattel, people say it's like comparing apples to oranges. To me, it's apples to apples. It's more of what you want the figures to do. If you're in for all the posability, DC Direct is really starting to catch up to Mattel, but I like the way that you don't see all the multiple points of articulation like you can in the Mattel. Even at his, legs here, you can see the faint line that would be there. So, that's something else to think about. Again, as I knock Robin off the back, I like the figures very much. Somebody asked how they look compared to the DC UC figures in height, and as you can tell, there's a good height difference between the figures. And even bringing in, Batman here, you can kind of see how they match up. The Robins are much higher than the DC UC Batmans, so we'll get them out of the way. So, which one, if I was only going to pick one of the two figures to get, in this case, it's really hard for me to decide. I like them both equally, but there are things on both of them that I wish the other one had. If you decide to get this Robin, you're going to get the Joker that comes with him. So that might be something that we do not have a Joker in the Batman Arkham City line. You could get the Batman Asylum Joker. There was a Comic-Con Joker that's the sickened version for Arkham City, so technically there is one. But there's not any available to buy in a store. You kind of had to go there, or you're going to pay quite a bit on eBay or Amazon to get that Joker. So for me, the action figures for myself, I tend to look at my DC Direct figures as my statue figures. Those are the ones that you really can't pose them too much, and I'm okay with that. They do have a good amount of articulation, but I tend to have my DC Direct figures just standing on my shelf and treat them more of like a statue. And my too many figures here. My Mattel figures, I will pose in different scenes to kind of act things out, and they're more articulate that way. So it's hard for me to pick one. I'm really leaning towards this Robin just because of his color scheme, but the cape is really winning out for me. So I'm going to wuss out and say I bought both of them, but maybe one of the two for you, you're leaning more one way or the other. So that's going to finish up this review. We're going to go on to Batman and Harley. But as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues, signing off, and we'll see you guys next time.